Hello and welcome to today's discussion, the 7800X3D combined with the 7900 XT and why I chose those two to pair together. Right here I'm going to kind of show you the settings that I'm using. These are my daily settings. Obviously every video card is going to be a little bit different on what performance it can achieve. My card runs at the settings you see for tuning of the graphics card. I run this as a daily setup. I can tune it better for higher performance, but this is what I keep it at for daily settings. It's stable. I don't have any issues gaming or anything with it. These are the frequencies I have it set to, the VRAM and power limit. And I'm also using smart access memory enabled. Those are the timings I use. I use 6000 CL30 kit that I've tuned, as you can see. Those are all the tunings. I just ran this. This is the score that I got on 3D Mark. CPU score, graphics score, total score. And this is with my daily use settings. This isn't using settings trying to get a max overclock score. This is a daily, everyday use score. Just an example, this is what I run monitor wise. The graphics card, I have a 170 hertz monitor. It's a 32-inch monitor. I game at balanced with no upscaling. Use 120 field of view. And typically in games, I usually achieve about a 240 average. You can see some of my gameplay I've listed. The only other setting that's different is I have my frame rate set at a max of 250. And that's it for the settings. The reason why I chose the parts that I chose was for price to performance. I paid $700 for my 7900 XT. I think around $700 is probably the target price for that GPU based off its performance. I think at that price it's probably one of the top price to performance right now. Obviously with the super cards coming out there might be some more shift. I wouldn't pay more than $750 for a 7900 XT, but at $700 I think that's a great price to get it at. The 7800 X3D, I think the target price for that should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 350 with about a target price of a motherboard around the 180 price mark. I think at $180 for a motherboard, $100 for your RAM, and about $350 for your CPU is probably paired up with a $700 GPU is probably about the sweet spot for performance to dollar value. And that's basically why I chose the parts I chose. I actually bought my motherboard as an open box at Micro Center. I paid I think $70 for my open box motherboard, and it's typically a $180 board. I got a 64 gigabyte kit that I paid $110 for. That's usually typically a $200 kit for a 6000 CL30 kit. You're going to spend about $200. I paid about $209, $210 for an open box kit. perfectly fine kit of RAM. But you can buy a 32 gigabyte kit all day long, brand new, for about $100, 100 to 105 for 6000 CL30. I'd highly recommend, uh, if you're searching for RAM, you target 6000 CL30, especially with AMD tends to be the sweet spot for that. And then also getting 6000 CL30, you're more than likely going to get Hynix A-die kit. Uh, that's typically, if you go above, if you're looking at 6000 CL36 kits, it's probably not going to be Hynix A-die. If you get down to CL30, it's typically, I think Hynix is pretty much the only one out there that can hit 6000 at the CL30. So typically your Hynix, either Hynix A or Hynix M die, when you're getting CL30 or CL32 kits at 6000 or faster. But like I said, and if you live near a micro center, you can go into a micro center and buy a motherboard, CPU, and RAM for $500. You can get the AM5 7800X3D, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and a motherboard for $500, which to me, I don't think anything out there touches that. If you can get that level of performance for $500, I don't think currently there's anything that's even remotely close to that price to performance. So obviously, if you live near a micro center, I highly recommend going there. If you're going the 7800X3D route, um, that's definitely where I'd recommend going. Buying that bundle, you just can't beat it price to performance. So, but that's it. That's my discussion on that. That's why I chose the parts I chose and what I recommend right now for dollar to performance. Obviously, it'll change as prices shift. That recommendation may change, but right now I think that's probably the best price to performance that you can get right now.